Do you think Spirit has a prime directive for humanity? Now that's an interesting question, and truly what you're asking is there a basic, all-in-one encompassing instruction that the creator of this planet, the creator of this universe and galaxy, would have for you as a human being, simply stated? And the answer is yes. It's the one that has always been there. The one that is echoed to you at the wind of birth, and the directive, the prime directive, has always been the same. Find God in you and pass it to those around you. You might even say, love those around you as much as you love Spirit. As the company of heaven has reiterated myriad times, when everyone's consciousness is raised up and the light of God increases in their life, people begin to see with new eyes and hear with new ears. This phenomenon has the wonderful effect of allowing people to clearly perceive the oneness of life and the divine truth that all life is interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent. They then comprehend that we are all one, and that there is no separation, there is no such thing as us and them. When that reality begins to resonate in the deepest recesses of one's heart, the justification for war becomes impossible to accept. In the concept of poverty, greed, corruption, violence, abuse of power, oppression, hatred, selfishness, prejudice, pollution, disease, ignorance, or any other reflection of our belief in separation becomes impossible to tolerate. And what that does, of course, is spread that which is compassion and that which we call love, caring, kindness in a way that it affects that which is energy around all of you. And this is not new news, but what I want to give you today is new. What if the directive was starting to shift, starting to change? Because of this dimensionality that you begin to broach in awareness, because of what is going on with some of you who are finding almost a beautiful new relationship with your soul, ones who are discovering mastery, a way perhaps even to guide your own reality, or at least turn the light on so you can see where you're going, and so you don't step in potholes or meet the wrong people. Sometimes a reflex response is for the newly awakened person to take a stand against those negative situations and behavior patterns. This causes the person to polarize him or herself against the people involved. Anytime we polarize ourselves against a person or group of people, we motivate them to fight back. This merely widens the abyss between us and causes further separation. We often attempt to solve that problem by arguing our case and trying to coerce the people we are polarized against into seeing things our way. We share all of our newly acquired insights and try to convince them that their way of thinking and feeling is flawed. They in turn argue from their perspective that our way of thinking is delusional and that we are being duped by illusions and unrealistic idealism. Of course, these arguments are futile and only exacerbate our polarization. People do not know what they do not know. When we awaken, our consciousness is raised up, and our perception of reality is transformed. An awakened person literally thinks, feels, sees, and hears with greater awareness. This shift of consciousness allows one to perceive a greater truth and to comprehend the oneness of life at a deep level. This creates a knowing within the awakened person's heart center that is indisputable. That is what we have been teaching for some time. Now in a new kind of dimensionality, do you think that maybe there would be a change in the directive? And the change may surprise you. The change may be something you didn't want to hear. But I would like to tell you the change not only has to do with increasing the love, but there's a big one coming, and that is this. Do everything you can to stay on this planet and survive this shift. Do everything you can to sustain your life and everything you think is your life so that you will, until your last breath, be able to pass the love on that you learned. Become higher in vibration as you stay here so that you will not be then catching the diseases of the old energy. Stay longer and take advantage of innate, which wants you to live more than 100 years. Stay so that you do not have to go through 20 years of growing up before you then can teach again. When an unawakened person is trying to discredit the knowing of an awakened person, it is like a deaf and blind person trying to convince a sighted hearing person that there is no such thing as color or music. The difference in that situation is that the sighted hearing person would understand perfectly why the deaf and blind person was having trouble grasping the concept of color and music. The sighted hearing person would have compassion for the deaf and blind person and would respond to him or her with patience and understanding. Unfortunately, we cannot easily tell if someone is awakened or not, so we often make the mistake of assuming that people should know more than they do, or that they should understand more than they are capable of understanding. When we expect more from people than they are capable of, we are generally disappointed and frustrated with their actions and their perception of things, which only polarizes us further. This is a very challenging time for people everywhere. It is the time that was referred to in the Bible when all that is hidden must now be revealed. It is a time when humanity is being purged and the negative behavior patterns of our lower human egos are being pushed to the surface to be healed and transmuted. This is a necessary part of our transformation and a cleansing that must occur in order for humanity to complete our ascension onto the next spiral of evolution. This purification is happening for each of us individually and for all of us collectively. So here comes a change in the directive, not just about love, but it's about staying. There is another part to it that's difficult to describe. For some of you, it's filled with sorrow. It's another directive that says, honor your soul plan and understand it. What could that mean? How many of you have lost friends lately? How many of you have had situations where they died too young? Or you wondered why a super healer or a super teacher would then choose to die before they were even in their 50s. This is starting to happen more and more, and light workers especially are seeing it. Why did they have to go? What is the reason they have to leave? What's going on? So I will tell you, another part of the directive to honor your soul's plan is really not targeted at the humans who are honoring it, but the humans who are left. Understand why some of these had to go, and see why it is in the planning stage that this planet will be better for it. My partner got this message and didn't like it when a good friend of his, a mentor, a healer, and not an older gentleman, passed away. And what he left behind was sorrow and all of the things that go with it. And it made no sense, since all my partner could see was all the healing he could have done for the next 20 or 30 years had he been able to stay. Powerful he was.